Hello again, everyone. Jeffrey Michael here with a new haircut. I like it. Do you like it? Of course you do. And welcome to another informative yet compelling edition of Jeffrey Michael's Movie Reviews Extravaganza. In this video, I will cover the movies that were released on October the 27th, 2017. Okay, the first film that I will cover is Jigsaw, rated R. It stars a bunch of unknowns and was directed by a couple guys you never even heard of. No, I'm just kidding. It stars Tobin Bell and was directed by the Spearig brothers, who brought you the vampire film Daybreakers. Okay, so Jigsaw is the latest entry in the Saw franchise. Remember back in the Stone Age, like 2004? A little film came out at the time that surprised everyone. It offered some fresh blood, no pun intended, on the slasher genre. And despite having a shoestring budget and a little bit of bad acting, it turned out to be not all that half bad. And it made quite a mint at the box office. So everyone at Lionsgate's like freaking out, like, oh, we made this much money off such a small budget? Oh, well, let's make 6 more of them. I mean, what part of unprecedented cash cow did you not understand there? And as time went on, with each sequel, it got more sillier and derivative than the last. And after 7, they finally said, this is the final chapter, everyone. Until a couple of years went by and they made another one because, even though the cow's dried up, keep milking it for all it's worth. Okay, so Jigsaw, the plot is, it's a bunch of victims once again find themselves, under Jigsaw's snare and have to face a bunch of traps in order to escape. At the same time, the cliche detective role comes in and tries to figure out, who's behind all this. And by finding a recording that has John Kramer's voice on it and uncovering his grave, there's no body there. They're all led to believe, could John Kramer, aka Jigsaw, be back from the dead and once again terrorizing people with all his deadly traps? I mean, just like with the Happy Death Day, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I figured out who it was and the twist at the end pretty early on. Now, I could just be telling you that, even though I didn't actually figure out, but I'm not one to lie, autism. And so, once again, it's a Saw movie that delivers on everything you expect from, a Saw movie. Rube Goldberg-inspired death traps, blood, guts, and, of course, Billy the Puppet. Live or die, make your choice. I will say, though, I did find this movie kind of disappointing, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, sure, it's still, entertaining and bloody fun to be had. But, part of the charm of the original Saw movies was its low-budget feel. It's grimy, it's, dark. But from the opening scene, you can tell they had a much bigger budget this time around. And it was a little too bright and shiny. It's like, it kind of takes away the appeal of what you expect from, a slasher film, or especially Saw. And also, this movie is about 5 strangers who have to survive a series of death traps. I mean, Saw fans, does that sound like the plot to Saw 5, anyone? Not very original. Overall, I would give this one a C+. I mean, it's not bad. It's just that there's other entries in the Saw franchise that were done better and much more inventive. So if you're a Saw fan, you can go and see it if you want. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it. All right, the next film in our lineup is Suburbicon, rated R. It stars Matt Damon, Julianne Moore, and Oscar Isaac, and was directed by George Clooney. Yes, that George Clooney, who directed such films as Good Night and Good Luck and The Ides of March. Now, Suburbicon is set in the year 1959, and it takes place in, Suburbicon, which in the ad in the beginning of the film says it's the most idyllic place to raise the family. It's got great schools, great hospitals, great homes, and it's got a great, overall quaint atmosphere in an all-white neighborhood. Yes, you heard me. Until an all-black family decides to move into Suburbicon and, oh my God, praise Jesus! Anyway, that's actually one of 2 stories that takes place simultaneously in this movie. The main story involves one of the families of Suburbicon. One of the white families actually lives behind the new moved-in black family. Gardner Lodge, played by Matt Damon, and his son Nicky, his wife Rose, and her twin sister Margaret, Julianne Moore in a dual role. And their idyllic suburbic life is going on just fine until, 2 robbers, come in the middle of the night and force the family to be tied up, and the wife is killed. And, oh my gosh, it's terrible. And it seems that way, like it was just a random, burglary gone wrong, until you find out later that maybe someone was behind this, maybe Gardner. Ooh. And it becomes even more suspicious when her twin sister Margaret starts dyeing her hair just like her sister Rose and starts sleeping with the gardener. And meanwhile, while all this is happening, the other story is the all-black family is being harassed constantly by all the white neighbors. They're singing loudly outside their home. They're banging their drums. They're saying, "Get out, get out!" And all the while trying to ignore them, just try and live on with their lives. And that actually is inspired by a true life story. That segment, an actual black family was harassed by their neighbors to move out. And overall, this movie is sadly was not all that great. I mean, it was badly needed to set itself on a tone. I mean, George Clooney tries to go for many different themes in this movie. Social status, commentary on racial tensions, and a murder mystery too. But all of them jumbled together just feel like misjointed. I mean, this actually, started off as a screenplay by the Coen brothers, this movie, way back in the 80s, Joel and Ethan Coen. And they never got the movie made on their own, so they passed it on to George Clooney a couple years ago, and it got heavily rewritten over time. And you have to wonder, was it those rewrites that killed this movie? I mean, I kind of wish I could have seen the original script directed by the Coen brothers now. But overall, I mean, sadly, I have to give this movie now in its proper, the way it is now, a C minus. I mean, the only thing that's stopping me from giving it a worse grade is the story with the black family was kind of touching. I kind of wish that was the whole movie itself right there. And, I mean, the main cast deserve better, and they know it. So if you're looking to see this movie, I don't recommend it. Sorry, guys. So the last movie that I will cover from October the 27th is Thank You for Your Service, rated R. It stars Miles Teller, Haley Bennett, and Amy Schumer, and is the directorial debut of Jason Hall, who wrote the screenplay to the Academy Award-nominated film American Sniper. Now, Thank You for Your Service is inspired by the true life story of three friends who are soldiers, and in 2007 they came home from a tour of duty in Iraq. Basically, this movie demonstrates that just because they're off the battlefield doesn't mean that the problems of soldiers, immediately cease. They come home to their families, and each of these three friends experience problems all of their own. The first soldier, Billy Waller, comes home to an empty house. His fiancée took his little girl and left him. And let's just say that story does not have a happy ending. Spoiler alert. And the second friend, Solo, comes home to his girlfriend, and he's eager. He can't wait to re-enlist to go back for another tour of Iraq until he takes an exam and realizes he may have suffered severe brain damage, and he's prone to violent outbursts and loss of memory, and that's really quite the bummer for him. And the third friend, Adam Schumann, played by Miles Teller, goes home to his wife, Saskia, played by Halle Bennett, and his little girl, and his infant son, who he has never met because he was born when he was away. Unfortunately, it seems idyllic for them until he suffers, severe PTSD and survivor's guilt, because his story is, back overseas, and one of his fellow soldiers shot on the battlefield, Emery, he tried to get him to rescue. He was shot in the head, and then he accidentally dropped him while he's trying to rescue him. He may have caused severe more damage to his brain, and he felt, guilty for that. Also, on another day, Doster, another soldier, took over him when he couldn't go, and Doster ended up getting killed in action, and he felt severe guilt, especially when he came back, and Doster's wife, played by Amy Schumer, initially blames him for that. But it's nice, by the way, it's nice to see Amy Schumer play a dramatic role for a change. She did a really good job, I thought. And so both Adam and Solo are both suffering, really a lot of trauma, and so they both go to the Department of Veterans Affairs to try to see if they can get psychiatric help. Unfortunately, they're overburdened, and they don't have all the resources, and they can't get any help for at least a couple months. And that's just sad. And that's really what this movie is all about. It shows that, problems for soldiers can happen both on and off the battlefield. It's a never-ending process. And also how, we should revere and, give our full support for them because, like I said, it shows in the movie the Department of Veterans Affairs don't have all that they can, and they need more help along the way to help all these soldiers who need it. And I thought the movie did a good job of showcasing, all the difficulties that comes with after, serving. It's well acted, this movie. It's hard hitting. It's inspiring. It's, just overall just a nice tribute to all of our fellow soldiers. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, I would give this one a solid B+. This was a really good movie on otherwise not so great weekend for the movies. And so I would definitely recommend this one if you really want to see it, It's a good one. Go see it. And the recap. Jigsaw, C+, an okay, not very original new entry in the Saw franchise. Unless you're a Saw fan, I wouldn't recommend this one. Suburbicon, C-, a very disjointed and uneven tone of a film that tries to cover many themes from 1950s suburban life. I definitely would recommend this one, ladies and gentlemen. The actors deserve better, and so do we. And finally, thank you for your service. B+, a well-acted, heavy-hitting, inspiring film that does a great job showcasing soldiers suffering from severe PSD. My number one recommendation in this video. Everybody needs to see this one. Okay, and that'll do it for another edition of Jeffrey Michaels Movie Reviews Extravaganza. Until next time, happy movie watching, everybody. So long for now.